also known as the law of confusion. This law establishes that each fragment of consciousness, you, has the inalienable, sacred, and irrevocable right to choose. You have the right to choose the light, and you have the right to choose the darkness. You have the right to choose love, and you have the right to choose fear. You have the right to remember who you are, and you have the right to forget it completely and play at being a worm. The Creator loves His own creation so much that He grants it the freedom to deny Him. If the Creator intervened to stop a war, He would be violating the free will of those who chose the war. He would turn His children into robots programmed to be good. A robot cannot love, because forced love is not love, it is programming. For your love for God, or the universe, to be real, the real possibility must exist that you hate Him or ignore Him. The possibility of evil is the price we pay for the authenticity of good. Today we are going to explore this first distortion. We are going to understand why freedom is the most dangerous gift, and at the same time, the only one worth having. What is a distortion? The lens. In the language of the law of one, the word distortion does not have a negative connotation, like something twisted or bad. It means movement, moving away from the static center. Imagine intelligent infinity as a point of white light, still, perfect, and silent. That is unity without distortion. But if that light wants to do something, it has to move. It has to vibrate. Any movement, any vibration, any thought is technically a distortion of that original stillness. Free will is the first distortion. It is the first movement of the Creator. It is like putting a lens in front of the white light. The lens distorts the light to focus it in a specific direction. Thanks to this first distortion, the universe stopped being a homogeneous soup and became a playground of infinite possibilities. Thanks to it, solar systems, planets, and people exist. Without free will, only the one asleep in its eternity would exist. You are a distortion of the one. Your body is a distortion. Your mind is a distortion. And that is wonderful, because thanks to the fact that you are distorted, separated, and individualized, you can have a unique experience that no one else in the cosmos can have. There's the law of confusion, the veil. For free will to function at its maximum power, a special mechanism is needed. Forgetting. Imagine you are playing a game of poker, but you can see everyone's cards and you know exactly what is going to happen. Would you have freedom of choice? No. You would only act according to certainty. There would be no emotion or risk. For the choice to have weight, there must be uncertainty. Therefore, in the third density, our current level of reality, the veil of forgetting exists. Before incarnating, you, as a soul, knew everything. You knew you were eternal. You knew your past lives. You knew your mission. But upon entering the physical body, you crossed the river Lethe. You forgot. The law of confusion was applied. Now you don't know if God exists. You don't know what happens at death. You don't know if your decisions are correct. You have to operate by faith and by intuition. You have to choose to be a good person without knowing for sure if you will be rewarded. That is the test. If you knew that God was watching you with a camera and that He was going to pay you $1 million for being good, everyone would be good out of interest. Mercenaries. But when you are good in a world that seems indifferent and cruel, when you choose love even though it costs you pain, then your choice is pure. The veil guarantees that your free will is genuine. You are blind so that you can learn to see with the heart. Threat, the neutrality of the sum. The Creator does not judge. Jesus said a phrase that contains the essence of the first distortion. God makes His sun rise on the evil and on the good, and sends rain on the just and on the unjust. Matthew 5:45. Think about it. The sun, the Logos, does not say, "That farmer is a murderer, I will not give light to his crops." The sun shines. Period. It shines with the same intensity on the field of the saint as on the field of the tyrant. It offers its vital energy to all without discrimination. Why? Because the sun knows that everything is the Creator. The murderer is the Creator experiencing the distortion of separation and fear. The saint is the Creator experiencing the distortion of union and love. Both are valid in the eyes of the infinite. The universe does not judge. Judgment is a human invention, a second-hand distortion. The universe only observes and reflects. If you use your free will to destroy, the universe will give you tools to destroy. If you use it to build, it will give you tools to build. It is like electricity. Electricity has no morals. You can use it to light up a hospital or to electrocute a prisoner in an electric chair. Electricity simply flows. You are the one who chooses the application. The Creator respects you so much that He allows you to use His divine power even to deny your own divinity. AKVAH, the architecture of choice, cause and effect. Free will does not mean that you can do whatever you want without consequences. It means that you can choose the cause, but you cannot choose the effect once the cause is launched. Here enters karma, or law of inertia. If you choose to jump off a building, free will, the law of gravity comes into action, determinism. You are going to crash. You cannot choose to jump and choose to float at the same time, unless you are an ascended master who has transcended physical law. In the spiritual plane it works the same way. If you choose hatred, you set in motion an energetic machinery. That machinery will generate isolation, illness, and conflict in your reality. It is not a punishment from God. It is the physics of your choice. You are free to put your hand in the fire, but you are not free to keep it from burning you. Learning on Earth is based on the feedback system. You make a choice. 2. You experience the result. 3. You learn or not. If there were no pain after the error, there would be no learning. If you could put your hand in the fire and not get burned, you would never understand the nature of fire. Karma is the teacher who tells you your choice was not aligned with the one. The necessity of darkness, the contrast. This is the most difficult point for the human ego to digest. Darkness, evil, is necessary for free will to make sense. Imagine a world where only it was possible to do good, where you couldn't lie, or hurt, or steal. It would be a world of angelic automata. There would be no merit in goodness. For you to become a conscious creator, you must have the option to choose the path of separation. You must have the option to say no to unity. Those beings who choose the path of darkness, service to self, play a vital role in the cosmos. They are the catalysts. They are the weight you lift in the gym. The weight opposes your movement. The weight wants to bring you down. But thanks to that opposition, your muscle grows. The tyrant, the narcissist, the oppressive system are spiritual weights. They are using their free will to create resistance, and you must use yours to overcome that resistance. You overcome it not by hating them, because that is joining their vibration, but by shining brighter. Without the darkness of the night, you would never see the stars. The first distortion allows darkness to exist as a valid option of evolution, even if it is a slow and painful path. To the sovereignty of the soul, the end of victimhood. If you accept the first distortion, you must accept its inevitable corollary. Victims do not exist. This phrase is explosive. It causes immediate rejection. How can you say that? I'm the child born in war, and the abused woman. From the 3D human perspective, they are victims, and they deserve compassion and justice. But from the soul's perspective, outside of time, they are volunteers. Before incarnating, using your total free will, you chose your circumstances. You chose your parents. You chose your body. You chose your main challenges. You designed your own video game. If you chose to be born in a war zone, it was not a system error. It was a decision of your soul to learn accelerated lessons about courage, loss, detachment, or compassion. Perhaps in another life you were a cruel warrior, and you chose this experience to balance karma and understand suffering from the other side. The moment you accept that you chose this, at a higher level, you stop being a victim. You recover your power. You stop saying, "Poor me, look at what the world has done to me." You start saying, "Fine, my soul chose this difficult scenario. It must be because I am an advanced player." The acceptance of radical responsibility is the key to freedom. As long as you blame others, God, the government, luck, you are giving up your free will. You are saying that they have the power over you. The law of one gives you back the scepter. No one does anything to you. You do everything through others. 7. The paradox of fate, the river and the swimmer. Does this mean that everything is written? No. Does this mean that everything is chance? No. It is a subtle mixture. Fate is the cards you are dealt at the start of the game. Your genetics, your family, your era. Those cards were chosen by your soul pre-incarnation. Free will is how you play those cards in each hand. You can have an excellent hand and lose by playing badly. Fear, laziness. You can have a terrible hand and win by playing masterfully. Intelligence, love, resilience. Imagine a river that flows toward the sea. The river is fate. The current takes you inevitably toward the ocean. Reunion with the One. That is guaranteed. We will all return to the source. But you are the swimmer. You have free will too. 1. Swim with the current. Flow. Accept. 2. Swim against the current. Resistance. Complaint. 3. Step out onto the shore for a while. The goal is fixed, the One. The path and the speed are your choice. Third, the danger of indifference, tepidness. The saddest use of free will is not choosing evil. It is choosing nothing. It is tepidness. The sinkhole of indifference. They are those souls who pass through life like zombies. They don't love, but they don't hate either. They don't build, but they don't destroy either. They only consume, sleep, and die. They are the tepid ones that Revelation says will be spit out of the mouth of God. Why? Because they don't generate movement. Without polarization, there is no harvest, there is no evolution. The universe prefers a decided villain, because at least he is learning, than an inert mass. Free will is a muscle. If you don't use it to make firm decisions, it atrophies. You become a background character, NPC, in the movie of others. To activate the law of One, you must decide. You must choose who you are. You must choose whom you serve. Indecision is the only mortal sin in a universe of action. It's unconscious co-creation magic. When you realize that the first distortion is real, you understand magic. Magic is not pulling rabbits out of hats. It is the art of using free will to direct energy. Most people use their will by default, reacting. The magician uses his will by design, creating. If the Creator gave you absolute freedom, it means that your word is law in your personal universe. If you say, I am free, the universe reorganizes to give you freedom. If you say, I am a slave, the universe reorganizes to give you chains. Free will is the magic wand. The problem is that you wave it wildly with contradictory thoughts. I want money, will 1, but money is bad, will 2. The two wills cancel each other out. Result, 0. Mastery consists of unifying your free will, aligning your mind, subconscious, and soul in a single arrow of intention. When you achieve that alignment, the distortion becomes a laser beam. You become a conscious co-creator. Chapter 3. The second distortion. Love light. And God said,